You're watching CBS 11 News at 5. Coverage you can count on.
Every new parent faces an important decision, a lot of them, we know that, but there's one in particular, whether to store the child's umbilical cord blood to possibly treat illness down the road.
In a moment, CBS 11 investigator Ginger Allen will join us. She has spent months investigating serious problems with the private cord blood banking system. But first, meet a family who says cord blood saved their child's life.
Look closely at this little baby girl. Imagine being told, this is your child, but if she lives, she will not eat, see, walk, or talk.
Are you hungry?
That's what the Johnsons were told 3 years ago.
Tea for Daddy, thank you.
Today, Caroline is not only asking for food, she's walking into the kitchen to get it.
She was blind when she was born, and now she can see well.
Caroline was born with hydrocephalus, fluid on the brain. Doctors immediately put her on a ventilator.
We didn't want her to live a life on a machine. We would rather her go up to heaven.
The doctors basically prepared us for her to not make it.
But when they took Caroline off the machine, she took everyone by surprise, continuing to breathe and fight. 5 days later, doctors sent the fragile newborn home with hospice and a mom and dad on a mission.
We felt like we just took it in our own hands and we left the hospital.
Then the Johnsons remembered they had saved Caroline's cord blood, a recommendation of their OBGYN before anyone knew anything was wrong. According to some research, doctors have used stem cells in more than 20,000 transplants to treat more than 80 life-threatening diseases, including cancers, blood disorders, and immune system deficiencies.
The whole theory of the stem cells that they go into your body and they have the ability to become any type of cell. It's just amazing. And our prayer was that they went up to her brain, and I believe they did.
3 years later, after several infusions of her own cord blood and many hours of therapy a week, the Johnsons say their little miracle is beating all odds, slowly but surely.
You were never told to expect the child you have today.
She's living proof. We were told that she wasn't going to be able to do anything, and now I can barely keep her in my lap.
Caroline's family stored their cord blood with Cord Blood Registry. Now, that's a private cord blood company. This whole story was important to us because of a phone call we received earlier this summer from another North Texas mom. Her 18-month-old baby girl, Trinity, is also sick. Now, this mom had saved both her baby's cord blood with a different private company. But when she realized she might need that blood and then tried to find the company, it had disappeared. So coming up tonight at 10 in a CBS 11 investigation, you'll see what happened when we travel halfway across the country to track down that cord blood company. And then along the way, we uncover problems in a system that puts any family interested in this at risk. Again, I will have that story tonight at 10. Doug and Karen, when I join you for the CBS 11 investigation.
Ginger, thanks. We look forward to seeing you at 10. But the family story previous, boy, what a good argument.
Oh, I know. And it does impact so many people. I know personally so many people who've saved their children's cord blood. And to think that it might not be there, that's what I'm going to be watching at 10 o'clock, that's for sure. Even before a baby is born, every parent faces a once-in-a-lifetime decision, whether or not to save their child's umbilical cord blood. It holds a wealth of stem cells that can be used later to cure even fatal diseases.
Yeah, but investigative reporter Ginger Allen found out that some blood banks are letting patients down, even putting children's lives at risk by breaking their promises.
I never dreamed that I would need it. It was just if. It was an if. That's what it was.
Crystal Penz didn't want to take any chances when her son Trenton was born. So she decided to save his cord blood and paid Biobank USA more than $2,000 to store it for 18 years.
You're putting your faith in a company that could one day save a family member.
She didn't give it a second thought until her second child was born.
And this was the first day we came home from the hospital with my daughter.
This is Trinity. Doctors believe she may have a very serious illness. They're still running medical tests, but depending upon the diagnosis, her brother's cord blood could hold the cure.
I have cried and cried over my daughter. I have prayed and prayed for a miracle.
This summer, Crystal Penz tried to contact Biobank USA in Monterey, California. She tried sending emails and calling all hours of the day, but got no answer.
All these questions just start running through your mind. Is my cord blood there? Has the business gone under? Is the cord blood missing?
Penz lives in Sunset, Texas, 1,600 miles away from the blood bank.
There's nothing between here and Forestburg except for...
So she turned to us for help.
It's a piece of hope that I hold on to with that cord blood. And if that cord blood is gone, that hope, that faith, that chance is gone.
We traveled to California looking for answers and found a company in trouble.
Hello?
This is Biobank USA,
Excuse me?
where parents across the country may still think they are storing their children's life-saving cord blood.
There's nothing left here but this sign, Biobank USA, preserving your future.
The Food and Drug Administration is charged with regulating companies that store cord blood, but we checked the records and found it had been 2 years since the FDA had done an inspection here. The Department of Health admitted to us there hadn't been a medical director here since last October, and for that reason, it should have been shut down, and all of the blood should have been transported last year. After CBS 11 started investigating why regulators hadn't stepped in sooner, the state of California automatically revoked Biobank's license for failing to maintain records and for not monitoring the temperature of storage devices, all while continuing to collect money from customers. The state eventually transported the blood to this facility in Los Angeles called Family Cord. That's where we located the tank.
And this is your newest tank around the corner.
Newest tank around the corner, the newest member of our family, yes. August 1st, we took possession of this tank from Biobank.
And where we finally found Crystal Prince's missing cord blood.
So we will maintain this tank as long as necessary.
This is not the first time Family Cord has taken over a tank. The FDA has shut down cord blood banks before. Several others have gone bankrupt.
How common is that?
It's one of the risks people take when they use a smaller cord blood bank.
Crystal Prince is not alone in this. The Edwards family also stored their son's cord blood at Biobank USA.
It's almost an insurance policy for, the worst possible scenario.
You've now found the blood, but you have a new worry.
Well, we don't know if it's viable unless we need it.
The cord blood cannot be tested unless it's thawed, but once it's thawed, it can't be stored and must be used immediately.
So in a sense, a person never really knows until it may be time or too late.
Exactly. There's no way to have complete insurance without ruining it.
One person who probably does know how well the tank was maintained is Robert Hayner, the owner of Biobank USA. We tried to find him at his Pebble Beach home. His wife told me it had been a tough 2 years and insisted Hayner would return our call. We never heard from him. CBS 11 has learned Hayner filed bankruptcy earlier this year and owes up to $10 million.
I feel deceived by the company.
These parents just want the answers they're owed, possibly life-saving answers.
I'm very angry. I'm very angry for the fact that somebody might have just taken something that could save my daughter's life. But what will hurt me the worst is losing my child because somebody might have been too careless.
The new company that is storing the cord blood is testing some control samples that were in that tank, and they say they will let parents know if those samples are okay. But again, as you just heard, those parents won't really know if their children's cord blood is viable until they thaw it for use, and then that doesn't happen until you're in a desperate situation.
I know a lot of parents have to be wondering if these private companies can go out of business and they still want to bank their children's umbilical cord blood, what can they do?
Karen, there is another option. Very few people know about it. We're lucky because it's here in Texas and not all states have it. And I'll have more on that part of the story tomorrow for you at 5 o'clock.
All right, Ginger, great insight. Thanks.
Last night, a CBS 11 investigation exposed how some private companies that store umbilical cord blood are going bankrupt, in some cases losing the potential life-saving stem cells. Today, CBS 11 investigator Ginger Allen tells us about another option for cord blood that some doctors don't even know exists.
You're putting your faith in a company that could one day save a family member.
But Crystal Prince lost her faith when she thought Biobank USA lost the stem cells that could possibly save her daughter's life.
I have cried and cried over my daughter. I have prayed and prayed for a miracle.
Prince paid Biobank USA more than $2,000 to store her cord blood for 18 years. Recently, doctors told her that her baby girl may have a serious illness and the stored cells might hold the cure. But Prince couldn't get the company to send her the blood or answer her cries for help.
And if that cord blood is gone, that hope, that faith, that chance is gone.
She turned to CBS 11, and we traveled to Monterey, California, to what was once Biobank USA.
Hello?
The company appeared to be shut down.
Excuse me?
We learned the FDA hadn't inspected it since 2009. And after we asked why regulators hadn't stepped in, the state of California automatically revoked Biobank's license, citing many violations. Like many parents, Crystal Penz never imagined her cord blood bank would go out of business. And she did not know there's another option.
It's a real science, and that's why the quality of the cord blood bank is so important.
Dr. Joel Weinthal says Texas Cord Blood Bank may bring hope to parents who can't afford a private bank or do not want to take the risk. This is a public bank. Any mom giving birth can donate her cord blood to it. Any patient needing stem cells can receive blood from it.
And he spent a long time in the hospital.
Dr. Weinthal is all smiles, showing pictures of a 2-year-old born with a fatal form of leukemia, one of 132 patients who have now found a life-saving tissue match in the Texas Cord Blood Bank.
Would this little boy be here today had it not been for that transplant?
No, he is alive because he had a cord blood transplant.
The upside is storage is free. The downside is there's no guarantee you'll get your own blood if you need it.
In the chance that you would ever need it and it's a match for you and it's available, it's there.
The bank is in San Antonio, where Texas now has 10,000 units available to save lives like this little one.
Now, this service is offered to all parents who deliver their babies at Medical City Hospital, but kits to retrieve the blood can be sent to all Texas hospitals. Bottom line here, you really should talk to your doctor about whether the private or the public bank is the best choice for your family. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Ginger Allen, CBS 11 News.
We have new developments in a CBS 11 News investigation. We exposed already how parents paid Biobank USA, a company, to store their children's cord blood. But when a North Texas mother needed to find those life-saving stem cells, she couldn't get any answers. Now former employees are revealing what happened inside the company from their point of view. Ginger Allen tonight with the latest on an investigation getting national attention for raising concerns about the security of cord blood banking.
For only a few precious moments following birth, there is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to save something typically thrown away. It's stem cells in the umbilical cord. Doctors say the cells can be used to treat up to 80 diseases. They could one day possibly save your baby's or a sibling's life.
I never dreamed that my kids would be sick. I never dreamed that I would need it. It was just if.
3 years ago, Crystal Penz of Sunset, Texas, sent her son Trenton's cord blood to Biobank USA. She prepaid thousands of dollars to store it for 18 years.
I have cried and cried over my daughter.
Now, Penz may need those stem cells for Trenton's sister.
This was the first day we came home from the hospital with my daughter.
This is Trinity. Doctors are still trying to diagnose the baby's illness.
It's a piece of hope that I hold on to with that cord blood. And if that cord blood is gone, that hope, that faith, that chance is gone.
But Penz couldn't get Biobank USA to send her the blood or answer her cries for help. And she wasn't alone. Other families also began wondering what had happened.
My first thought is for him, and where is this, this potential lifesaver for him has disappeared.
So CBS 11 traveled to Monterey, California. The company appeared to be shut down.
Hello?
We learned the FDA hadn't inspected it since 2009.
There's nothing left here but this sign, Biobank USA, preserving your future.
And after we asked why regulators hadn't stepped in, the state of California automatically revoked Biobank's license, citing many violations.
The worst part for me is just feeling what the customers are going through now.
Andy Anderson is one of several former sales representatives for Biobank who saw our story.
You feel sort of responsible because, you're out there promoting this company, not knowing that it was in such shambles.
Anderson worked for Robert Hayner, the CEO of Biobank USA. We left messages for Hayner and even visited his home in California, but he's never responded to us. CBS 11 has learned in 2010, Hayner's sales reps were still out marketing Biobank, handing some doctors this certificate. It offers a lifetime guarantee to people like Crystal Penz, promising a refund plus $25,000 for quality preservation.
We were misled into the quality of the company, the quality of the product, the quality of the leadership, and unfortunately we were to disseminate that message to the clients and the physicians.
Another sales rep tells me she too feels bad. She was at the airport. She had been out of state, away from home, promoting Biobank, when she says she and several other sales representatives all received the same phone call. Biobank was laying them all off.
By July of 2010, the reps say most of them had received this layoff letter saying, "We have all fought valiantly to make this the little company that could." Despite the signs of failing, nearly 1 year later, look at this credit card statement. June of this year, Biobank was still collecting money from monthly paying customers.
They know that the company's not going to be around, and they're continuing to deceive folks as well as, just try to make more money for themselves in the end.
By then, Biobank had also been without a medical director for 8 months, and by law, it should have transported the storage tank to another facility. But that did not happen until CBS 11 began investigating.
And this is your newest tank around the corner.
Newest tank around the corner, the newest member of our family, yes.
Today, the stem cells are in Los Angeles, where Family Court, another facility, is testing samples from the tank to see if the blood is even viable.
These families need some answers, their child's lives are potentially at stake as a result.
Late yesterday afternoon, a man answered the phone at Biobank USA and said he was the treasurer. Now, this is the first time I've been able to reach anyone with the company. He told me that he and the owner, Robert Hayner, are now working with more than 100 investors to raise funds to restart. He also told me the company was still collecting what he called residual money from old customers. When I asked him, though, if he thought the cord blood was still viable, he told me he'd have to have Robert Hayner, the owner, call me, and that still hasn't happened.
No call.
All right.
For months now.
Yeah. Wow. Ginger Allen, thanks for the update.